Hey guys, if you're in a hospital and it starts burning down, and as you're escaping, you hear a cry for help, you go to a room, and on one side, there's a little boy who cried out for help. And on the other side, there are about 1,000 embryos, which is what fetuses grow from. One or the other, who are you going to save? This question is often brought up in debates of abortion. Understandably, most people choose to save the little boy. But the argument against abortion is that life starts at the embryo. So, if given the opportunity to save more lives than one, why wouldn't you if that's when you believe life actually began? Abortion is defined as the termination of pregnancy before the embryo or fetus can live outside the uterus on its own. And this is by the 2017 edition of the Funk and Wagnall's New World Encyclopedia. Abortion is actually legal in the United States until around 1880 when it's outlawed. When abortion is outlawed, it's not stop women from getting abortions, they just have to begin getting them illegally. Women have to pay large amounts of money for physicians or they are forced to leave the country. If women do not have access to resources like money in order to pay for these things, then they have to resort to things such as inserting needles, knitting needles, and coat hangers into their vaginas, and sometimes drinking chemicals or douching with lye. These things induce medical emergencies and sometimes even death. These practices dropped dramatically when the Roe versus Wade court decision was passed in 1973, which legalized abortion. After this legalization of abortion, around 18 to 20 years later, the studies have shown that the rates dropped dramatically, and it is a clear result of the Roe versus Wade court decision. This is according to the 2008 edition of the Quarterly Journal of Economics. According to a 2018 article found on USA Today, laws in multiple states deny health coverage for abortion cases, mainly for women who can't afford them. This is almost the same thing as when abortion was illegal because it caused women to take drastic measures in order to get the results that they were wishing for. Now, granted, there are negative effects of abortion, which can be listed as the psychological effects that it can have. It could be expensive or it could be difficult to access because of harassment or state restrictions, and because of the fact that fathers have few rights. But there are even worse negative effects or outcomes of forcing a mother to keep an unwanted child. This child can be forced to grow up in a drug abuse situation. It can be born addicted to drugs. It could be born to just an abusive household, verbally, mentally, and physically. And if the woman can't provide care for the child will just end up either in the foster care system, having to be adopted, or just out on the streets, or even worse results than that. But there are many positive effects to abortion, which legal abortion is safe. The complication rate is 0.06%, which is a very small number for the amounts of abortions that are had every year or in general. It reduces the risk of injury from illegal abortion, and most abortions are done in the earlier stages of the pregnancy, which proves to have even less health risks. Mainly, though, it's about empowerment. A woman has to carry the child, has to labor the child, and has to take care of the child primarily for 18 plus years. How can anyone else who will not be there to support the baby financially or in any other type of way make the decision for a woman to tell her to keep or to not have her child? That's unrealistic. A woman should have the rights to make the decision for herself for her life, for her body, and for her child.